Hi. So let me see if I can turn this thing around. Oh well, I have to stick with portrait. A lot more people now. I just woke up. Super lazy. A lot more activity since compared to last week. We've got these shops that are open. You can see the signs. The KFC is now open. We've got plenty of people. You are still not allowed to eat inside the Lawson. Um, the monitoring is less now as well, so I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing. It used to be the case that every time I enter my apartment building, I have to have my temperature taken. Since even when I get home at 2 a.m., there'll be a guy manning the door. But now that's no longer the case. I think the guy kind of leaves. I don't know when he leaves because I get home at 2, and so. But you can still see that everybody's wearing a mask. Yeah, even these are probably migrant workers, judging by their looks. So even they were wearing masks. So people are still fairly protective of their own health. More cars. You can see clearly a lot more cars compared to like 1 or 2 weeks ago when I got back. N95s are more commonly seen now. This woman is wearing an N95 mask. Sorry about the wind noise. Yeah, so N95s are in abundant supply now. The only thing is that they're slightly more expensive, typically costing around $1 plus. You might think compared to the US price that's ridiculously low, but it's China after all. When production is ramped up, we can basically produce almost anything, en masse, unless it's some really high-tech stuff, which will take a bit of R&D. In this case, it's just a problem of capacity. Shao Fuyao, hey, long time no see. An investing area, oh hi. So, there's still no visible activity on this overpass since the beginning of the Lunar New Year holiday. But my guess is that there will be a lot more activities. But what is important about all this? I think this gives us a timeline between when things are really shit and when things get better. China locked down Wuhan in oh hi, well, it's good afternoon from Shanghai, and whoever is from Montreal, I can't pronounce your name, Tizenberg. Yeah, so what's important about all this? Wuhan is locked down on 23rd. 20th is when people got all scary and jittery. And now it's March 13th or something. So it's a month and a half. So with drastic measures, you can expect things to turn for the better within a month and a half. And how much damage is done within that month and a half? Well, a bunch of small restaurants near my office building is still closed. They haven't returned since the Lunar New Year holiday. I have a suspicion they've gone bust. I talked to my cousin. Yeah, Singapore's done just a fantastic job. I wish we did the same thing here, but I think we did the second best thing where we locked down everything and things kind of turned better. Singapore, I kind of envy having a Singaporean government. They just done a fantastic job. In fact, my wife and I been discussing moving to Singapore for the rest of our lives. Anyways, beyond the point. So other than the restaurants, I'm not sure about the hotels because I haven't checked the hotels in here. But my cousin who works in importing and exporting told me that both in Guangdong and Zhejiang, a lot of factories have closed down. They have sold their machinery, and they expect a very bad, very poor business for the latter half of 2020. Yeah, just look at how much this has recovered. I wouldn't say this is peak Shanghai traffic. This is Saturday anyways. But you can see activities returning back to normal. Very stark contrasts between this and what I see a week or two ago. And so there's hope. There's definitely hope. So these factories have all closed down, and any, what do you call those, clothing factories, they all moved to making masks. Right? As I said, it takes about a month to retool everything, and so all that capacity kind of came back by the beginning of March. The price of masks dropped by basically massively. Before, you basically couldn't get anything. Now you can at least, well, you can get N95s, as I said, for under slightly over $1, about 10 yuan ish. I mean, unless you're fancy and you want, 3M, but then that will cost you $2, which is still a real bargain compared to what US is getting, which also clearly means that I'm selling masks in US. I'm just a profit-seeking, heartless capitalist. Right, so all right, so in terms of impact on Italy, well, Italy basically went full Wuhan in on the 8th of March. Is it gonna last just 14 days as they expected? I very much doubt it. I think it's gonna be much worse for them for quite a while. Wuhan needed extra mobile crematoria. Well, and that's from other parts of China where they can still make these things with industrial capacity. Well, Italy is full fucked. Who are they going to rely on? Their European partners have their hands full themselves. I mean, my prediction is that within a week, the whole Western Europe is going to go full Wuhan, right? And and everybody's going to be short on everything. So there was just this arrogance that I find hard to comprehend. That even sometime in March, I still see news where young people in Italy were like, we have to defend our rights to kiss. I'm like, what the fuck? It's not about you. At that point, wearing a mask is as much about protecting yourself as protecting others around you in case you caught the virus. But that was their attitude. So even if they went full lockdown like that in China, it's gonna take a bit longer to recover because all the latent cases. Well, I guess Wuhan had their own crazy shit on the 18th of January. They had a large gathering of that, what they call that, 10,000 family feast, where 160,000 people showed up and had like a potluck dining thing, which I get, my suspicion that certainly doesn't help. All right, in terms of damage, let's look at this. Saturday, so I don't expect too much activity, but well, this one is clearly closed on. That's closed down. Yeah, this one doesn't look like they have returned. So damage is here. Yes, as this is some kind of. I think this is actually a public company in U.S. Essentially, it's saying that we are not open after 10th of February, and we don't know when we're gonna open. Okay. So here is a gym that's closed. I mean, if you expect these to be open, they should be open on Saturdays. It's not. Here is a dieting thing that's clearly closed. It's supposed to be open Monday through Sunday. That's closed. And they still have the sign saying they're open, but here's a lock, right? So they're not open. These are stuck closed. So those are the lasting damages. Yeah, so that's very. I mean, that's some part of that is open, I guess. So, U.S. Well, U.S. if you just look at the curves, is about 14 days behind Italy. So my guess is U.S. is going full Wuhan within 14 days. Yeah, and it's funny. All this, like, the signs were all there, but people refuse to really understand the data and perceive, like, comprehend the extent of the threat. They're like, I guess it's psychologically expected in the sense that people are against having their normal life altered, which I can see, but too much resistance is just bad for yourself. So my wife and I, we have stocked up food, observing what we had on February 10th-ish. So we had plenty of Soylent and supplies at home, just being prepared to hunker down for a couple of months, which is, I guess it wasn't over-preparing. And also, for any acute businessman, you can predict where the next outbreak will be. You can make a bunch of money. So I've sent masks to US, Italy, Australia, and some to Greece. So when the outbreak inevitably happens, like, people should be buying masks in advance, not when the shit hits the fan. And that's what's going on. Like, suddenly over one night, everybody thinks it's a good idea to wear a mask. It's not conducive to, oh shit, I always forget that I can't actually get across it. It's more conducive for the system to function if you can flatten the demand curve both to the front and to the ladder. And there's always this inherent lag for, due to logistics. Like, you just can't get the stuff to the people in time. Anyways, for the people that had the foresight, you can have supplies stocked up, then you can charge ridiculous prices. And I'm now selling some N95s at like $20 a pop in US. But where were you guys a month ago? Like, what? Anyways, I guess I shouldn't really complain when I'm making money. All right, I'm going to the office, and you can see I no longer have to go through the front door. And they don't measure my temperature either. The people are still wearing masks. All right, that's it for my update. So yeah, I would say China's more than 80% recovered for the ones that are going to recover, and the rest are probably bankrupt. And there'll be a huge flood. There'll be a flood of money coming out of central bank and government, and there will be a lot of investment to try to basically Keynesian stuff to lessen the blow. And yeah, see you guys some point, and hope you all keep safe. Bye.